Pooh! Did you miss me? Good evening, Axolotl. I hope you're well. Axolotl, what time is it where you are? I'm curious. You know, I tried doing the voice all day yesterday for the stream. Or not all day, but like all streams today. Couldn't do it. Just, in the end, it's just not comfortable to do. Of course, I still think I sound more proper on here than I do in normal conversation, but, yes, of course. You know, there's always an element of performance and showmanship to it all. For a second, I am in your house. I'm in your walls. Watching you. Your every movement. Sniffing your hair when no one's looking. Chamomile. I despise chamomile. But anyway, no, I'm tired. I got home late from going to work, I guess. Yeah, I got home very late. Late listener. You know, I've been feeling really lonely lately. Really, really lonely. Bapathon. What a name. Bapathon. That's so funny to Bapathon. Because it sounds like brap. You get it? You get it? You get it? I thought that was you, Aqua. I hope you're well. You know, bap is another name for a type of bread in England. They're like, don't ever say that, because there's basically like a bunch of different names for the same kind of bread, and whoever says they're right is right. So I'm right when I say I call it a bap, but other people are right when they call it a barm, or a bread roll, or anything like that. So, keep that in mind if you ever come to England. You never do, it's a miserable country, we're all fucking depressed, and the weather's shite, and we always complained about the weather being shite. No, you were asking how I've been doing, Axolotl. I know, you gotta try and stick with the name eventually. Eventually, Aqua. Wait, can I still call you Aqua? Because you're just Aqua now. Can I still call you that? Because it's too confusing otherwise. Far too confusing. But, yeah. Honestly, I've been not doing good lately. I mean, I've mentioned... I think I put a message in Discord saying I've not been in high spirits lately, and, I'm feeling quite alone lately, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Not in the best place. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any friends near where I live. And my job has not been the best for me. Yeah, things aren't going well, Chief. What can I say? Ah, dear. Oh, dear. It's okay, though. Don't worry about it. We're here to just have a nice, chilled-out evening. We're gonna, what are we gonna do? We're gonna read some Winnie the Pooh. The House at Pooh Corner. So you guys can tuck yourselves in bed and get whisked off to the 100-acre wood. Whisked away whimsically. I feel like I was too hard on the C sound there. Whisked away whimsically. Does this sound relaxing when I get really close to the microphone like this and start kind of loudly whispering? What about when I quietly whisper? Hey, I just wanted to say you're doing really good today, and I'm proud of you. You've done really well. Honestly. this moment is proof that you are amazing. Words of affirmation brought to you by Elijah Phantom. Is that nice? Was that nice to listen to? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, woe is me. I shall never know the answer. I just want to chill out for a bit though first. Let me just do a little quiet down, a little... Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry about that. Let me have a sip of water, just get it out of my system. But yeah, feeling quite alone lately. Just not anyone around. All my friends either don't live in England. Well, I say all my friends, like I have like a plethora of people of which to partake with a party. But no, I don't. Yeah, I'm kind of just like a lonely loser. I mean, I'm a VTuber, so. That's okay though. It's not. I'm kind of tired of being alone. But you know what? Streams aren't the place to complain about that kind of stuff. Or are they? I don't know. Who knows? Certainly not I. A foolishly foolish fool, foolishly thinking of foolish things. You know, I was thinking on the way home about how cursed the phrase birth me is. Like, mother. Birth me, mother. Mother, I require birthing. I forget actually, what does the O mean? I don't know. Yeah, well, no worries. I just came here and yet I have to go. I have no idea. I see. Like a drifter in the wind. You drift through. Do you think it sounds nice though when I go into the mic and whisper? Was that nice to listen to? Was that not nice? Did that make you uncomfortable? I'm always kind of weirded out when people like... Okay, there are things to like about school, I think there are. But I think if someone... I've met people who like... Wait, did you have like a good school experience? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like... What? I don't know, it doesn't seem right to me, you know? Doesn't make any sense. You'll be okay, though. Axolotti, you'll do wonderfully. Keep up the good work. The morning always comes, and with the morning comes new possibilities. Someone's obsessed? I think I'm missing out on like half the story here. Unless you don't have time to say the story, in which case you can potentially talk about it another time. And yeah. That'll be okay. Should probably turn the music down a bit. There we go. Ew, a boy? I do not find joy in talking with a boy. Where the hell do all you people live where the gay is a thing? He talked with his friend who doesn't also... Sounds like Eric Cartman. I mean, what? Legitimately, I never knew anyone who was gay until, like... I was an adult. Or no, well, no, that's not entirely true. At least I wasn't familiar with someone. I have a I have a feeling if you say all this story, this will be very uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah. I do hope you'll be okay. If it's in school, I would recommend talking to a teacher about it, or actually, I don't want to offer guidance on that kind of thing. I don't know all the details, and honestly, I don't know your situation. Maybe you could call the police. Maybe you could talk to the teacher. I don't know, but if you are very uncomfortable about it all, yeah. I do hope you'll be okay, though. Legitimately, there's just like a lot of gay people nowadays. I don't know. Brother said I should talk with sister, and see her opinion. Again, I don't want to offer guidance on this just in case I don't know anything. Well, I don't know anything, but I am, after all, just a guy on the internet with a weird, funny mask. Don't trust what I say. I do hope you'll be okay, though. You gonna be okay? You're a good egg. Don't let this get you down, okay? You could just also, like, punch him or kick him in the balls. I know you're gentle as a fly, but you know, send a message. Did I ever tell you about the time I got into a fight at school? Bet that's what Sister One would say. I once slammed a guy's head into a locker in school. He jumped me and I dodged out of the way just in time and started slamming his head into a locker several times and got into a fight. The experience was actually really... I kicked his ass. I was a very angry child, and he was also a huge prick. Kept having a go at me and insulting me and everything, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I just got... he tried jumping me, dodged him, and slammed his head into a locker, and then we got into a fight in the hallway. Teachers came, broke us up. The adrenaline afterwards sucked. When the adrenaline leaves your body, it's just an awful feeling, really awful feeling. I felt ill afterwards. He never touched me again. No, he never did that. So yeah, that's something. You could try that. I mean, okay. Realistically, I'd love to be in a world where I don't have to say... I will probably try... No, just before you go. Realistically, I would love it if we could just be in a world where you say, oh yeah, talk to an authority figure. Or whatever. The school system will fail you. It just will. Teachers won't be able to help you. What they will do, call an assembly? Fuck off. Thing is, if you fight back and show that you're not willing to put up with this kind of shit, sure, you'll get in trouble. You absolutely will. But a bit of trouble now, or a lot of trouble for a long, long time. It's up to you. I don't want to say anything. I'm not gonna... You know, I would... Don't act... Again, I am just a guy on the internet. I'm just a weird dude with a funny mask and a weird voice, which I can't decide on. But yeah. Talk to your family. See what you can do. And I do hope that you'll be okay. You're a good egg, Axolotl. You're a good egg. Just look after yourself, okay? Have a good night. Keep well. Stay safe. Righto. I think now. Have a good night. By the way, just before you go, did my words of affirmation help at all? When I went into the microphone and did this. Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry about that. Yep, excellent. Righto. Do keep well. Stay safe. Have a good night. I'm going to start reading. Here we have the house on Pooh Corner. Righto. Where was I? So we just met Tigger last time. No, we'd gone to the search for Small. Here we go. Yeah, so we're on chapter 4, in which it is shown that Tiggers don't climb trees. Okay? Righto. Let's begin. Chapter 4, in which it is shown that Tiggers don't climb trees. One day, when Pooh was thinking, he thought he would go and see Eeyore, because he hadn't seen him since yesterday. And as he walked through the heather singing to himself, he suddenly remembered that he hadn't seen Owl since the day before yesterday, so he thought he would just look in at the 100-acre wood on the way and see if Owl was at home. I'll just turn the music down a bit. There we go. Well, he went on singing until he came to the part of the stream where the stepping stones were, and when he was in the middle of the third stone, he began to wonder how Kanga and Roo and Tigger were getting on, because they all lived together in a different part of the forest. And he thought, I haven't seen Roo for a long time, and if I don't see him today, it will be a still longer time. So he sat down. Oh wait, hang on, I don't think I changed my stream. Silly Billy me. Sorry. What was I haven't seen Roo for a long time, and if I don't see him today, it will be a still longer time. So he sat down, and on the stone in the middle of the stream, my apologies, and sang another verse of his song while he wondered what to do. The other verse of the song was like this. I could spend a happy morning seeing Roo. I could spend a happy morning being Pooh. For it doesn't seem to matter if I don't get any fatter. And I don't get any fatter what I do. The sun was so delightfully warm, and the stone which had been sitting in it for a long time was so warm too, that Pooh had almost decided to go on being Pooh in the middle of the stream for the rest of the morning, when he remembered Rabbit. Rabbit, said Pooh to himself. I like talking to Rabbit. He talks about sensible things. He doesn't use long, difficult words like Owl. He uses short, easy words like, what about lunch? And, help yourself, Pooh. I suppose, really, I ought to go and see Rabbit. Which made him think of another verse. Oh, I like his way of talking, yes I do. It's the nicest way of talking just for two. And help yourself with Rabbit.
though it may become a habit, is a pleasant sort of habit for a Pooh.
So when he had sung this, he got up off his stone, walked back across the stream, and set off for Rabbit's house. But he hadn't got far before he began to say to himself,
Yes, but suppose Rabbit is out. Or suppose I get stuck in his front door again, coming out as I did once when his front door wasn't big enough. Because I know I'm not getting fatter, but his front door may be getting thinner. So, wouldn't it be better if...
And all the time he was saying this... my apologies, I'm not reading ahead enough. And all the time he was saying things like this, he was going more and more westerly, without thinking, until suddenly he found himself at his own front door again. And it was 11 o'clock. Which was time for a little something. Half an hour later, he was doing what he had always really meant to do. He was stumping off to Piglet's house. And as he walked, he wiped his mouth with the back of his paw and sang a rather fluffy song through the fair. It went like this. I could spend a happy morning seeing Piglet, and I couldn't spend a happy morning not seeing Piglet. And it doesn't seem to matter if I don't see Owl and Eeyore or any of the others. And I'm not going to see Owl or Eeyore or any of the others, or Christopher Robin. Written down like this, it doesn't seem a very good song, but coming through pale fawn fluff at about 11:30 on a very sunny morning, it seemed to Pooh to be one of the best songs he'd ever sung. So he went on singing it. Piglet was busy digging a small hole in the ground outside his house.
Hello, Piglet,
said Pooh. Hello, Pooh, said Piglet, giving a jump of surprise. I knew it was you.
Oh, so did I. What are you doing?
I'm planting a haycorn, Pooh, so that it can grow up into an oak tree and have lots of haycorns just outside the front door instead of having to walk miles and miles. Do you see, Pooh?
Supposing it doesn't,
said Pooh. It will, because Christopher Robin says it will, so that's why I'm planting it.
Well, said Pooh, if I plant a honeycomb outside my house, then it will grow up into a beehive.
Piglet wasn't quite sure about this.
Or a piece of a honeycomb, said Pooh, so as not to waste too much. Only then I might only get a piece of a beehive, and it might be the wrong piece, where the bees are buzzing and not honeying. Bother.
Piglet agreed that that would be rather bothering. Besides, Pooh, it's a very difficult thing, planting, unless you know how to do it, he said, and he put the acorn in the hole he had made, and covered it up with the earth, and jumped on it.
I do know, said Pooh, because Christopher Robin gave me
what? Oh, right.
Christopher Robin gave me a Master's Halum seed, and I planted it, and I'm going to have Master's Halums all over the front door.
I thought they were called nasturtiums, said Piglet timidly, as he went on jumping.
No, said Pooh, not these. These are called Master Shalums.
When Piglet had finished jumping, he wiped his paws on his front and said, What shall we do now? And Pooh said,
Let's go see Kanga and Roo and Tigger.
And Piglet said, Yes, let's, because he was still a little anxious about Tigger, who was a very bouncy animal, with a way of saying how do you do, which always left her ears full of sand, even after Kanga said, Gently, Tigger dear, and helped you up again, so they set off for Kanga's house. Now it happened that Kanga had felt rather motherly that morning, and wanting to count things, like Rue's vest, and how many pieces of soap there were left, and the 2 clean spots in Tigger's feeder. So she had sent them out with a packet of watercress sandwiches for Rue and a packet of extract of malt sandwiches for Tigger. To have a nice, long morning in the forest, not getting into mischief. And off they had gone. And as they went, Tigger told Rue, who wanted to know, all about the things that Tiggers could do. "Can they fly?" asked Rue. "Yes," said Tigger. "They're very good flyers, Tiggers are. Extremely good flyers." "Oh," said Rue. "Can they fly as well as Owl?" "Oh, yes," said Tigger. "Only they don't want to." "Why don't they want to?" "Well, they just don't like it somehow." Rue couldn't understand this because he thought it would be lovely to be able to fly, but Tigger said it was difficult to explain to anybody who wasn't a Tigger himself. "Well," said Rue, "can they jump as far as Kangas?" "Yes," said Tigger, "when they want to." "I love jumping," said Rue. "Let's see who can jump farthest, you or me." "I can," said Tigger, "but we mustn't stop now or we shall be late." "Late for what?" "For whatever we want to be in time for," said Tigger, hurrying on. In a little while they came to the 6 pine trees. "I can swim," said Rue. "I fell into the river and I swimmed. Can Tigger swim?" "Oh, of course they can. Tiggers can do everything." "Can they climb trees better than Pooh?" asked Rue, stopping under the tallest pine tree and looking up at it. "Climbing trees is what they do best," said Tigger. "Much better than Pooh's." "Could they climb this one?" "They're always climbing trees like that," said Tigger. "Up and down all day." "Oh, Tigger, are they really?" "I'll show you," said Tigger bravely. "You can sit on my back and watch me." For of all the things which he had said Tigger could do, the only one he felt really certain about suddenly was climbing trees. "Oh, Tigger! Oh, Tigger! Oh, Tigger! Oh, Tigger!" squeaked Rue excitedly. So he sat on Tigger's back and up they went. And for the first 10 feet, Tigger said happily to himself, "Up we go!" And for the next 10 feet he said, "I always said Tiggers could climb trees." And for the next 10 feet he said, "No, that's it. Now, blah, 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 blah. Now that it's easy, mind. Not that it's easy, mind you." And for the next 10 feet he said, "Of course, there's the coming down too, backwards." And then he said, "Which will be difficult. Then, unless one fell, when it will be easy." And at the word "easy," the branch he was standing on, it's my nose, sorry. The branch he was standing on broke suddenly, and he just managed to clutch at one above him as he felt himself going down. And then, slowly, he got his chin over it. And then, one back paw, and then the other, until at last, he was sitting on it, breathing very quickly, and wishing that he had gone in for swimming instead. Rue climbed off and sat down next to him. "Ooh, Tigger!" he said excitedly. "Are we at the top?" No," said Tigger. "Are we going to the top?" "No," said Tigger. "Oh," said Rue rather sadly. And then he went on hopefully. "Oh, that was a lovely bit just now, when you pretended we were going to fall bump to the bottom and we didn't. Will you do that bit again?" "No," said Tigger. Rue was silent for a little while. And then he said, "Shall we eat our sandwiches, Tigger?" And Tigger said, "Yes, where are they?" And Rue said, "At the bottom of the tree." And Tigger said, "No, I don't think we'd better eat them just yet." So they didn't. By and by, Pooh and Piglet came along. Pooh was telling Piglet in a singing voice that it didn't seem to matter if he didn't get any fatter. And he didn't think he was getting any fatter, what he did. And Piglet was wondering how long it would be before his acorn came up. Look, Pooh, said Piglet suddenly. There's something in one of the pine trees.
Oh, so there is,
said Pooh, looking up wonderingly.
Oh, there's an animal.
Piglet took Pooh's arm in case Pooh was frightened. Is it one of the fiercer animals? He said, looking the other way. Pooh nodded. It's a jaguar.
Wait,
no, wrong voice.
It's a jaguar,
he said. What do jaguars do? Asked Piglet, hoping that they wouldn't.
They hide in the branches of trees and drop on you as you go underneath, said Pooh. Christopher Robin told me.
Perhaps we better hadn't go underneath, Pooh, in case he dropped and hurt himself.
Oh, they don't hurt themselves, said Pooh. They're such very good droppers.
Piglet still felt that to be underneath a very good dropper would be a mistake, and he was just going to hurry back for something which he had forgotten when the jaguar called out to them. Help! Help! It called.
Oh, that's what jaguars do, said Pooh, much interested. They call help, help, and then when you look up, they drop on you.
I'm looking down, cried Piglet loudly, so as the jaguar shouldn't do the wrong thing by accident. Something very excited next to the jaguar heard him and squeaked, Pooh and Piglet! Pooh and Piglet! All of a sudden, Piglet felt that it was a much nicer day than he had thought it was, all warm and sunny. Pooh! He cried. Oh, wait, whose voice is it? Pooh! He cried. I believe that's Tigger and Roo.
Oh, so it is. I thought it was the jaguar and another jaguar.
Hello, Roo. Hello, Roo, said Piglet. What are you doing? Oh, we can't get down, cried Roo. Isn't it fun? Pooh, isn't it fun? Tigger and I are living in a tree like Owl, and we're going to stay here forever and ever. I can see Piglet's house. Piglet, I can see your house from here. Aren't we high? Is Owl's house as high up as this? How did you get there, Roo? On Tigger's back. And Tigger's can't climb downwards because the tails get in the way. Only upwards, and Tigger forgot about that when we started, and he's only just remembered. So we've got to stay here forever and never, unless we go higher. What did you say, Tigger? Oh, Tigger, if we go higher, we shan't be able to see Piglet's house as well. No, we shan't be able to see Piglet's house so well, so we're going to stop here.
Piglet,
said Pooh solemnly when he heard all this.
What shall we do?
And he began to eat Tigger. And he began to eat Tigger's sandwiches. Are they stuck? Asked Piglet anxiously. Pooh nodded. Couldn't you climb up to them?
I might, Piglet, and I might bring Roo down on my back, but I couldn't bring Tigger down, so we must think of something else.
And in a thoughtful way, he began to eat Roo sandwiches too. Whether he would have thought of anything before he had finished the last sandwich, I don't know. But he had just got to the last but one when there was a crackling in the bracken, and Christopher Robin and Eeyore came strolling along together.
I shouldn't be surprised if it hailed a good deal tomorrow,
Eeyore was saying.
Blizzards and whatnot. Being fine today doesn't mean anything. It has no what's that word? Well, it has none of that. It's just a small piece of weather.
Oh, there's Pooh, who didn't much mind what it did tomorrow, as long as he was out in it. Hello, Pooh.
Oh, it's Christopher Robin,
said... Oh, wait, that's Piglet, sorry. Oh, it's Christopher Robin, said Piglet. He'll know what to do. They hurried up to him.
Oh, Christopher Robin,
began Pooh.
And Eeyore,
said Eeyore.
Tigger and Roo are right up at the 6 pine trees, and they can't get down.
And I was just saying, put in Piglet, that if only Christopher Robin...
And Eeyore...
If only you were here, then we could think of something to do. Christopher Robin looked up at Tigger and Roo and tried to think of something. Hey, Aqua, don't worry about it. Wait, can I still call you Aqua? That's okay, bud. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you just chilling by and having a listen. I know this is kind of niche and not everyone's cup of tea. Excellent. No, I do understand this is niche and not everyone's cup of tea, so I do appreciate you just staying by even for a little bit. It's much appreciated as always. Thank you very much. Have a good day, Aqua. Keep well. Stay safe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where were we? I thought, said Piglet earnestly, that if Eeyore stood at the bottom of the tree, and if Pooh stood on Eeyore's back, and if I stood on Pooh's shoulders, and if Eeyore's back snapped suddenly, then we could all laugh. Oh wait, hang on. That was Eeyore's line. Oh.
And if Eeyore's back snapped suddenly, then we could all laugh.
Bap of appreciation. No worry. Have a good time, Aqua. Look after yourself.
We could all laugh. Amusing in a quiet way, said Eeyore, but not really helpful.
Well, said Piglet meekly, I thought...
Would it break your back, Eeyore?
asked Pooh, very much surprised.
That would be so interesting, Pooh. Not being quite sure till afterwards.
Pooh said, oh, and they all began to think again. I've got an idea, cried Christopher Robin, suddenly.
Listen to this, Piglet, said Eeyore, and then you'll know what we're trying to do.
Nope. I'll take off my tunic, and we'll each hold a corner. Then Roo and Tigger can jump into it, and it will be all soft and bouncy for them, and they won't get hurt themselves.
Getting Tigger down, said Eeyore, and not hurting anybody. Keep those 2 ideas in your head, Piglet, and you'll be all right.
But Piglet wasn't listening. He was so agog at the thought of seeing Christopher Robin's blue braces again. He had only seen them once before, when he was much younger, and, being a little overexcited by them, had to go to bed half an hour earlier than usual. And he'd always wondered since if they were really as blue and as bracing as he had thought them. So when Christopher Robin took his tunic off, and they were, he felt quite friendly to Eeyore again. Oh, wait, what? And they were, he felt quite friendly to Eeyore again, and held the corner of the tunic next to him, and smiled happily at him. And Eeyore whispered back,
I'm not saying there won't be an accident now, mind you. They're funny things, accidents. You never have them till you're having them.
When Roo understood what he had to do, he was wildly excited and cried out, Tigger, Tigger, we're going to jump! Look at me jumping! Tigger! Like flying my jumping will be. Can Tiggers do it? And he squeaked out, I'm coming, Christopher Robin! And he jumped straight into the middle of the tunic. And as he was going so fast that he bounced up again, almost as high as where he was before, and went on bouncing and saying, Whoo! for quite a long time. And then at last he stopped and said, "Oh, lovely." And they put him on the ground. "Come on, Tigger," he called out. "It's easy." But Tigger was holding onto the branch and saying to himself, "It's all very well for jumping animals like kangaroos, but it's quite different for swimming animals like tigers." And he thought of himself floating on his back down a river or striking out from one island to another, and he felt that this was really the life for a tigger. "Come along," said Christopher Robin. "You'll be all right." Just a moment," said Tigger nervously. Small piece of bark in my eye," and he moved slowly along his branch. "Come on, it's easy," squeaked Roo. And suddenly, Tigger found how easy it was. "Ow!" he shouted as the tree flew past him. "Look out!" cried Christopher Robin to the others. There was a crash and a tearing noise and a confused heap of everybody on the ground. Christopher Robin and Pooh and Piglet picked themselves up first, and then they picked Tigger up, and underneath everybody else was Eeyore. "Oh, Eeyore!" cried Christopher Robin. "Are you hurt?" And he felt him rather anxiously and dusted him and helped him stand up again. Eeyore said nothing for a long time. And then he said, "Is Tigger there?" Tigger was there, feeling bouncy again already. "Yes," said Christopher Robin, "Tigger's here."
"Well, just thank him for me,"
said Eeyore. That's the end of that story. Righto. I think we can do another one. Yeah. We can do another story. Probably be a short stream today, but yeah. Chapter 5. In which Rabbit has a busy day, and we learn what Christopher Robin does in the mornings. It was going to be one of Rabbit's busy days. As soon as he woke up, he felt important, as if everything depended on him. It was just the day for organizing something, or for writing a notice signed Rabbit, or for seeing what everybody else thought about it. It was a perfect morning for hurrying round to Pooh and saying, "Very well then, I'll tell Piglet," and then going to Piglet and saying, "Pooh thinks perhaps I'd better see Owl first." It was a captainish sort of day, when everybody said, "Oh, yes, Rabbit," and "Oh, no, Rabbit," and waited until he had told them. He came out of his house and sniffed the warm spring morning as he wondered what he would do. Kanga's house was nearest, and at Kanga's house was Roo, who said, "Yes, Rabbit," and "No, Rabbit," almost better than anybody else in the forest. But there was another animal there nowadays, the strange and bouncy Tigger. And he was the sort of Tigger who was always in front when you were showing him the way anywhere, and was generally out of sight when at last you came to the place and said proudly, "Here we are." "No, not Kangas," said Rabbit thoughtfully to himself, as he curled his whiskers in the sun, and to make quite sure that he wasn't going there, he turned to the left and trotted off in the other direction, which was the way to Christopher Robin's house. "After all," he said to himself, "Christopher Robin depends on me. He's fond of Pooh and Piglet and Eeyore, and so am I, but they haven't any brain. Oh, not to notice, and he respects Owl because you can't help respecting anybody who can spell Tuesday, even if he doesn't spell it right, but spelling isn't everything. There are days when spelling Tuesday simply doesn't count, and Kanga is too busy looking after Roo, and Roo is too young, and Tigger is too bouncy to be any help. So there's really nobody but me when you come to look at it. I'll go and see if there's anything he wants doing, and then I'll do it for him. It's just the day for doing things." He trotted along happily, and by, he crossed the stream and came to the place where his friends and relations lived. Seemed to be even more of them about than usual this morning, and having nodded to a hedgehog or two with whom he was too busy to shake hands, and having said, good morning, importantly to some of the others, and, there you are, kindly to the smaller ones, he waved a paw at them over his shoulder and was gone, leaving such an air of excitement, and I don't know what behind him, that several members of the Beetle family, including Henry Rush, made their way at once to the 100-acre wood and began climbing trees in the hope of getting to the top before it happened, whatever it was, so that they might see it properly. Rabbit hurried on by the edge of the 100-acre wood, feeling more important every minute, and soon he came to the tree where Christopher Robin lived. My apologies. He knocked at the door, and he called out once or twice, and then he walked back in a little way and put his paw up to keep the sun out. And then he walked back a little and called to the top of the tree, and then he turned all round and shouted, "Hello! And I say, it's Rabbit!" But nothing happened. Then he stopped and listened, and everything stopped and listened with him. And the forest was very lone, and still, and peaceful in the sunshine, until suddenly, 100 miles above him, a lark began to sing. "Bother," said Rabbit. "He's gone out." He went back to the green front door, just to make sure, and he was turning away, feeling that his morning had got all spoilt, when he saw a piece of paper on the ground, and there was a pin in it, as if it had fallen out the door. "Ha!" said Rabbit, feeling quite happy again. "Another notice." This is what it said. "Gone out. Back soon. Busy. Back soon. Christopher Robin." "Ha!" said Rabbit. "I must tell the others," and he turned off importantly. The nearest house was Owl's, and to Owl's house in the 100-acre wood he made his way. He came to Owl's door, and he knocked, and he rang, and he rang, and he knocked, and at last Owl's head came out and said, "Go away, I'm thinking..." "Oh, it's you," which is how he always began. "Owl," said Rabbit shortly, "you and I have brains, the others have fluff. Is there any thinking to be done in this forest?" "Now, if there is any thinking to be done in this forest, and when I say thinking, I mean thinking, you and I must do it." "Yes, now I was. Read that." Owl took Christopher Robin's notice from Rabbit and looked at it nervously. He could spell his own name, Wall, and he could spell Tuesday so that you knew it wasn't Wednesday, and he could read quite comfortably when you weren't looking over his shoulder and saying, "Well," all the time, and he could, "Well," said Rabbit. "Yes," said Owl, looking wise and thoughtful. "I see what you mean, undoubtedly. Well?" "Exactly, precisely," and he added, after a little thought, "If you had not come to me, I should have come to you." "Why?" asked Rabbit. "For that very reason," said Owl, hoping that something would happen soon. "Yesterday morning," said Rabbit solemnly, "I went to see Christopher Robin. He was out. Pinned on his door was a notice." "The same notice?" "A different one. But the meaning was the same. It's very odd." "Amazing," said Owl, looking at the notice again, getting, just for a moment, a curious sort of feeling that something had happened to Christopher Robin's back. "What did you do?" "Nothing. The best thing," said Owl wisely. "Well," said Rabbit again, as Owl knew he was going to. "Exactly." For a little while he couldn't think of anything more, and then, all of a sudden, he had an idea. "Tell me, Rabbit, he said, "the exact words of the first notice. This is very important. Everything depends on this. The exact words of the first notice." "Oh, it was just the same as that one, really." Owl looked at him and wondered whether to push him off the tree. But feeling that he could always do it afterwards, he tried once more to find out what they were talking about. "The exact words, please," he said, as if Rabbit hadn't spoken. "Yeah, I just said, gone out, back son. Gone out, back son. Same as this, only this says busy back son, too." Owl gave a great sigh of relief. "Ah," said Owl. "Now we know where we are." "Yes, but where's Christopher Robin?" said Rabbit. "That's the point." Owl looked at the notice again. To one of his education, and the reading of it was easy. Gone out, back son. Busy, back son. Just the sort of thing you'd expect to see on a notice. "It is quite clear what has happened. It is quite clear what has happened, my dear Rabbit," he said. "Christopher Robin has gone out somewhere with Backson. He and Backson are busy together. Have you seen a Backson anywhere about the forest lately?" I don't know," said Rabbit. "That's what I came to ask you. Where are they? What are they like?" "Oh, well," said Mowgli. "Spotted or herbaceous Backson is just at least," he said. "It's... No, well, he said, said Owl, not spotted or herbaceous Backson is just at least," he said. It's really more of a, no, of course," he said. "It depends on the, well," said Owl. "The fact is," he said, I don't know what they're like," said Owl frankly. "Thank you," said Rabbit, and he hurried off to see Pooh. Let me just rub my eyes a second. I got something in my eyes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alrighto. Before he'd gone very far, he heard a noise, and so he stopped and listened. This was the noise. The noise by Pooh.
"Oh, the butterflies are flying, now the winter days are dying, and the primroses are trying to be seen." "And the turtle doves are cooing, and the woods are up and doing, for the violets are bluing in the green. Oh, the honey bees are gumming on their little wings and humming, that the summer which is coming will be fun. And the cows are almost cooing, and the turtle doves are mooing, which is why a Pooh is pooing in the sun. Well, the spring is really springing, and you can see a skylark singing, and the bluebells which are ringing can be heard. And the cuckoo isn't cooing, but he's cooking and he's oohing, and a Pooh is simply pooing like a bird."
"Hello, Pooh," said Rabbit.
"Oh, hello, Rabbit," said Pooh dreamily.
"Did you make that song up?"
"Well, I sort of made it up," said Pooh. "It isn't brain," he went on humbly, "because you know why, Rabbit. But it comes to me sometimes."
"Ah," said Rabbit, who never let things come to him, but always went and fetched them. "Well, the point is, have you seen a spotted or herbaceous Backson in the forest at all?"
"No," said Pooh. No," said Pooh. "I saw Tigger just now."
"Oh, that's no good."
"No," said Pooh. "I thought it wasn't."
"Have you seen Piglet?"
Yes," said Pooh. "I suppose that isn't any good either," he asked neatly.
Either.
"Good either."
"Well, depends if he saw anything."
"He saw me,"
said Pooh. Rabbit sat down on the ground next to Pooh and, feeling much less important like that, stood up again. "What it all comes down to is this," he said. "What does Christopher Robin do in the morning nowadays?"
"What sort of thing?"
"Well, can you tell me anything you've seen him do in the morning these last few days?"
"Yes,"
said Pooh.
"We had breakfast together yesterday by the pine trees. I'd made up a little basket, Just a little fair-sized basket. An ordinary, bigger sort of basket.
Full of... Yes, yes, said Rabbit. But I mean later than that. Have you seen him between 11 and 12?
Well,
Said Pooh.
at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock. Well, at 11 o'clock, you see, I generally get home about then, because I have 1 or 2 things to do.
11:15 then,
Well,
said Pooh. 1/2.
yes, said Pooh. At 1/2, or perhaps later, I might see him.
And now that he didn't think of it, he began to remember that he hadn't seen Christopher Robin about so much lately. Not in the mornings, afternoons, yes, evenings, yes, before breakfast, yes, just before breakfast, or just after breakfast, yes, and then perhaps, see you again, Pooh, and off he'd go. That's just it, said Rabbit. Where?
Perhaps he's looking for something.
What? Asked Rabbit.
That's just what I was going to say, said Pooh. And then he added, perhaps he's looking for a
spotted or herbaceous baxen?
Yes, said Pooh, one of those. In case it isn't.
Rabbit looked at him severely. I don't think you're helping, Pooh.
No, said Pooh. I do try,
he added humbly. Rabbit thanked him for trying, and so that he would now go and see Eeyore, and Pooh could walk with him if he liked. But Pooh, who felt another verse of his song coming to him, said he would wait for Piglet. Goodbye, Rabbit. So he went for Piglet. Goodbye, Rabbit. So Rabbit went off. But as it happened, it was Rabbit who saw Piglet first. Piglet had got up early that morning to pick himself a bunch of violets, and when he had picked them and put them in a pot in the middle of his house, it suddenly came over him that nobody had ever picked Eeyore a bunch of violets. And the more he thought of this, the more he felt how sad it must be, an animal who had never had a bunch of violets picked for him. So he hurried out again, saying to himself, Eeyore, violets, and then violets, Eeyore, in case he forgot. Because it was the sort of day, and he picked up a large bunch of and trotted along, smelling them and feeling very happy until he came to the place where Eeyore was. Oh, Eeyore, began Piglet a little nervously because Eeyore was busy. Eeyore put out a paw and waved him away.
Tomorrow, said Eeyore, or the next day.
Piglet came a little closer to see what it was. Eeyore had 3 sticks on the ground and was looking at them. And 2 of the sticks were touching at one end, but not at the other, and the 3rd stick was laid across them. Piglet thought that perhaps it was a trap of some kind. Oh, Eeyore, he began again.
Is that little Piglet?
Said Eeyore, still looking hard at his sticks. Yes, Eeyore, and I...
Do you know what this is?
No.
It's an A.
Oh, said Piglet.
Not O, A, said Eeyore severely. Can't you hear? Or do you think you have more education than Christopher Robin?
Yes, said Piglet. No, said Piglet very quickly, and he came closer still. Christopher Robin... Oh.
Christopher Robin said it was an A, and an A it is, until somebody treads on it,
Eeyore added sternly. Piglet jumped backwards hurriedly and smelt at his violets.
Do you know what A means, little Piglet?
No, Eeyore, I don't.
It means learning. It means education. It means all the things that you and Pooh haven't got. That's what A means.
Why is he being such a dick? Oh, said Piglet again. I mean, Does it? He explained quickly.
I'm telling you, people come and go in this forest and they say, it's only Eeyore, so it doesn't count. They walk to and fro saying, ha ha, but do they know anything about A? They don't. It's just 3 sticks to them. But to the educated, mark this, little piglet, to the educated, not meaning Poohs and piglets, it's a great and glorious A. Not, he added, just something that anybody can come and breathe on.
Piglet stepped back nervously and looked around for help. Here's Rabbit, he said gladly. Hello, Rabbit. Rabbit came up importantly, nodded to Piglet and said, Ah, Eeyore, in the voice of one who would be saying goodbye in about 2 more minutes. There's just one thing I wanted to ask you, Eeyore. What happens to Christopher Robin in the mornings nowadays?
What's this that I'm looking at?
Said Eeyore, still looking at it. 3 sticks, said Rabbit promptly.
You see?
Said Eeyore to Piglet. He turned to Rabbit.
I will now answer your question,
he said solemnly. Thank you, said Rabbit.
What does Christopher Robin do in the mornings? He learns. He becomes educated. He instigates. I think that is the word he mentioned, but he may be referring to something else. He instigates knowledge. In my small way, I also, if I have the word right, am doing what he does. That, for instance, is
an A, said Rabbit, but not a very good one. Well, I must get back and tell the others. Everyone looked at his sticks, and Eeyore looked at his sticks, and then he looked at Piglet.
What did Rabbit say it was? He asked.
An A, said Piglet.
Did you tell him?
No, Eeyore, I didn't. I expect he just knew.
He knew? You mean this A thing is a thing Rabbit knew?
Yes, Eeyore, he's clever, Rabbit is.
Clever,
said Eeyore scornfully, putting a foot heavily on these 3 sticks.
Education,
said Eeyore bitterly, jumping on his 6 sticks.
What is learning?
Asked Eeyore as he kicked his 12 sticks into the air.
A thing Rabbit knows. Ha!
I think, began Piglet nervously.
Don't,
said Eeyore. I think violets are rather nice, said Piglet, and he laid his bunch in front of Eeyore and scampered off. Next morning, the notice on Christopher Robin's door said, Gone out, back soon. CR. Which is why all the animals in the forest, except of course the spotted and herbaceous Baxen, now know what Christopher Robin does in the mornings. And that's the end of that story. Oh my goodness gracious me. Eeyore was nasty in that. Goodness heavens. He was straight up mean. Like, Eeyore is just... So I already know Eeyore is just like a miserable guy. But holy moly. Oh my goodness. What a miserable little person. What a miserable little donkey. Terrible guy. My voice keeps cracking. Just a nasty piece of work, isn't he? What a weird guy. Yeah. Well, that's okay. He's funny in his own way. He's funny in his own way, ain't he? Right, yeah. I think that is everything for today. I just wanted to do a short stream, if I'm being honest, just 'cause I'm quite tired now. But, I would have done more if I'd gotten back home earlier, but, got back to the stage earlier, rather, but, that's okay. Things happen. But, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, if anyone has tuned in. Much appreciated. What will I be doing? I can't remember if I have any streams planned this week. Let's have a look. What am I doing this week? I don't know. Oh yeah, I may be doing something on the weekend, but on Friday I'm playing Slime Rancher. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Friday's Slime Rancher, and I can't remember what else I'm doing. So yeah, we'll have a look. We'll have a see what's going on. But yeah, I believe that's everything for this week. So yes, thank you so much for watching, people of the internet. Much appreciated as always. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your evening, afternoon, and night. Keep well, stay safe. The stage is now closed. Adieu.